The Watcher was not supposed to interfere. From the beginning, the Watcher's purpose was observation, quiet, persistent, unseen by its subjects. The world spun, people made their choices, and the Watcher chronicled every outcome, never touching the millions of threads running through history. But this was a peculiar timeline. Here, a single decision was poised to unravel much more than its intended target. There was a choice to be made: let the pattern run its course, or, for once, act. It began simply as these things do. In a city blanketed by fog and neon, Lila adjusted her jacket, checked the time, and marched into the government archives. She had been waiting for months, gathering fragments, itching to reveal what was hidden in those sterile corridors. The fate of thousands would be shaped by the files behind that locked door. Lila had no idea something was watching. In its domain, the Watcher considered the variables. In 47 minutes, the custodian would discover Lila in the restricted files. The authorities would be called. Lila's credibility would be torched, the revelations lost, her cause extinguished. The repercussions would ripple beyond her, engulfing people she would never meet. But the Watcher, until this moment, had always accepted such outcomes. However, just as Lila's hand hovered over the Forbidden's file, the air rippled. Unnoticed, the digital surveillance camera, which had always swept this corridor, simply blinked off. Power cables hummed, then briefly stuttered. The Watcher reached across the surface of things, brushing events lightly. Just enough. Lila slipped past undetected, discovering the evidence she needed. She hurried out just as the custodian was distracted, called away by a misdirected phone alert, an alert never meant for his device. The security logs, which always ran without fail, recorded nothing at all. The Watcher altered nothing else. It was just a nudge, an afterthought. But already, the timeline had deviated. News broke within days. The files cascaded through the press, and what was once rumor became irrefutable. There were consequences, tumult, resignations. The world, nudged in a new direction, reeled with opportunities and threats. Lila, surprisingly, was not destroyed by her discoveries. Instead, she became a reluctant, lionized crusader, praised for her tenacity and persistence. That alone would have been enough, but the Watcher was thorough. One intervention creates fractures. In a university lab across the city, Dr. Ethan Sang received a new grant, a direct result of the policy shifts Lila had triggered. His research group, given new freedom, published work that changed the field, boosting a nascent technology and just as quietly obliterating a decade-old security vulnerability. A politician who would have leveraged that very flaw to subvert an election found their plan foiled before it began. Their ambitions stagnated. Policy shifted toward transparency, every new regulation building upon the moment Lila had walked through the archive corridor. Each event, each effect, traced back to that single fleeting ripple, the Watcher's one violation of its mandate. Within its realm, the Watcher measured outcomes. These were good changes. Outcomes improved for millions: less corruption, better science, fewer secret tyrannies. But not all was well. Without the familiar stasis of history, new unforeseen currents surged. A rival nation exploited the sudden policy transparency to steal valuable intellectual property. Markets stumbled, self-correcting, but not without turmoil. People once content with ignorance now demanded action everywhere, burning out those tasked with reform. The Watcher observed, noting both uplift and unrest. Lila, at the center, was exhausted. Her victories bred new enemies, and every reform fueled a backlash. Dr. Seng's breakthrough, once celebrated, faced sabotage by unleashed competitors. The waves, once gentle, became storms. Years later, in a quiet apartment, Lila wondered if it would have been better never to look. She remembered the door at the archive, the feeling she'd had like a hand brushing her shoulder, urging her forward. She never spoke of it, assuming it was nerves or luck. For the Watcher, the experiment was over. It returned to observation, now wary of tampering. One minor touch had transformed the world, but not cleanly. For every corruption unearthed, new ones crept in shadows. For every life improved, another slipped into turmoil. Its records grew longer, more complicated. In the end, the Watcher made a notation. Even one who sees all cannot predict the consequences of a single intervention. So the Watcher watched and waited as history found new paths, neither better nor worse, only different. And in the city below, the world moved on, forever unaware just how close it had come to something else entirely.